Hey there, Trivia Masters! Ready for a fun question right off the bat? Today, we're embarking on a colorful journey across the United States, but not in the way you might think. Instead of visiting landmarks and cities, we're going to explore the vibrant world of U.S. state flags. Yes, you heard that right, flags. Every state has a unique flag that tells a story about its history, culture, and values. Let's kick things off with a trivia question. Can you guess which U.S. state has a bear on its flag? If you said California, you're right. The California state flag, also known as the bear flag, features a grizzly bear walking on a patch of grass. But why a bear, you may ask? Well, the bear on California's flag is not just any bear. It's a symbol of strength and unyielding resistance. The grizzly bear, named Monarch, was a symbol of the California Republic back in the mid-19th century. The Republic was a short-lived, unrecognized state that existed for less than a month. The flag from that time, known as the original bear flag, was hoisted by rebels who declared California's independence from Mexico. Later on, when California became a U.S. state, the bear stayed on the flag as a reminder of the state's history and the spirit of resilience and independence. So, the next time you see the California flag, you'll know that the bear isn't just there for decoration. It's a significant part of the state's history and identity. And that's just one state flag. There are 50 in total, each with its own unique story and symbols. Isn't that interesting? Now let's dig more into the world of flags. So, we know California's flag features a bear, but which other states have animals on their flags? Let's take a journey across the United States and discover some of the state flags that feature animals. First stop, we're heading to the Pacific Northwest, to the state of Oregon. Now, can you guess which animal is on the Oregon state flag? Well, it has a long tail and is known for its ability to stand on its hind legs. Yes, it's a beaver. The beaver is Oregon's state animal, and it proudly sits on the reverse side of their flag. Next, we're flying over to the southeastern part of the country, to the state of Louisiana. This state's flag showcases a group of birds. Can you guess what they are? They're known for their long legs and graceful flight. Yes, you got it. They're pelicans. The flag of Louisiana features a mother pelican feeding her 3 chicks. Now, let's trek to the mountainous region of Wyoming. This state's flag showcases an animal that is synonymous with the Wild West. Can you guess what it is? It's big, it's strong, and it's the largest land mammal in North America. Yes, you're right, it's a bison. The flag of Wyoming showcases a bison with the state seal. Isn't it fascinating how each state flag tells a unique story about its state? The animals on these flags aren't just decorations. They represent the wildlife of the state and its rich history. They are a symbol of the state's identity, a badge of honor, and a source of pride for its residents. Wow, that's a lot of animals. Now let's move on to some flags with unique symbols. Did you know some state flags have unique symbols that represent their history or culture? That's right, not all flags are created equal. Some states have decided to showcase their distinctiveness by incorporating symbols that tell a story about their past or their way of life. Let's delve into a few of these interesting designs. Take a look at the flag of New Mexico. It's strikingly simple yet complex. Its central symbol, the Zia sun symbol, has a rich meaning in the Zia tribe's culture. The 4 lines extending from the circle represent the 4 directions, the 4 times of the day, the 4 stages of life, and the 4 seasons. It's a representation of the harmony of life intertwining with nature. Let's fly over to the tropical paradise of Hawaii. Its flag might seem a bit out of place with the Union Jack of the United Kingdom in the top corner. You might be wondering, why is that there? Well, Hawaii was once under British protection in the early 19th century, and this flag was designed as a symbol of friendship with the British. Lastly, we travel up north to the beautiful state of Alaska. Its flag might seem simple with its 8 gold stars forming the Big Dipper and the North Star, but it carries a deep meaning. The Big Dipper is a part of the Ursa Major constellation, symbolizing strength, while the North Star represents the state's northern location and the hope of Alaska's future. These symbols aren't just there for decoration, they're reminders of the rich history, diverse culture, and unique characteristics of each state. They make each flag not just a piece of fabric, but a story woven in threads and colors. Intriguing, isn't it? Let's move on to flags with people. Guess what? Some state flags even have people on them. You know how we love to pepper our conversations with a healthy sprinkle of trivia, right? Well, let's dive right into the world of people on state flags. We'll start with the Commonwealth of Virginia. The Virginia state flag features a woman standing over a fallen king. The woman represents the virtue of liberty, and the king represents tyranny. It's like a mini story on a flag, isn't it? Next, we have the flag of Massachusetts. This flag shows a Native American man holding a bow and arrow. The arrow is pointed downward to symbolize peace. Not far from him, there's a disembodied arm brandishing a sword. That's a bit of a head-scratcher, isn't it? Well, it's actually a symbol for the motto of Massachusetts, which is translated as, "By the sword we seek peace, but peace only under liberty." Now let's hop over to the state of New York. The New York state flag has two women on it. One of them is Lady Liberty, who you might recognize from a certain large statue in New York Harbor. The other woman is Lady Justice. These two ladies are known as the supporters. They're holding a shield between them that shows a sunrise over the Hudson River. So who do you think these people could be? Do you think they might be important historical figures, or perhaps symbols of the state's values and history? You're absolutely right. They're not just any random people, but symbols representing the history, culture, and values of the states they belong to. Isn't it interesting how much you can learn about a state just by looking at its flag? Not only do these flags tell us about the people who were important in the state's history, but they also tell us about what the state values. Well, those were some famous faces. Now let's check out flags with plants. From animals and people to plants, can you guess which state flags have plants on them? Let's dive right in, starting with the Buckeye State, Ohio. Now you might be thinking, what on earth is a buckeye? Well, it's a type of tree that's very common in Ohio, and it's even where the state gets its nickname. The buckeye tree produces a nut that looks a bit like a deer's eye, hence the name Buckeye. So when you see the circular shapes on the Ohio flag, those represent the buckeye nuts. Moving on, we head south to Tennessee. You'll see 3 stars on the Tennessee flag, but did you notice the wreath surrounding them? That's a wreath made of cotton, a very important crop in the state's history. Cotton was once the king of crops in the South, and Tennessee was a major producer. So the cotton wreath is a nod to the state's agricultural past. Next, let's mosey on over to Texas, the Lone Star State. Now you might be thinking, but there's only 1 star on the Texas flag. Where are the plants? Well, if you look closely, you'll see that the star is encased in a circle of live oak leaves and olive branches. The live oak is a symbol of strength, and the olive branch is a universal sign of peace. Together, they represent the strength and peace of the Lone Star State. And how about a bonus? Let's not forget about the state of Mississippi. Its flag features a magnolia flower right in the center. The magnolia is the state flower of Mississippi and is known for its large, fragrant blossoms. So, the next time you see a state flag, take a closer look. You might just find a plant, a flower, or even a tree. It's amazing how these designs encapsulate the unique histories and cultures of each state, don't you think? Who knew flags could be so green? Now, let's take a look at our last category, flags with objects. Last but not least, some state flags have objects on them. Can you guess which ones? Let's start our journey with the flag of Indiana. It's a blue flag featuring a golden torch surrounded by 19 stars. The torch stands for liberty and enlightenment. The stars, well, they represent each state admitted to the Union before Indiana, with the larger star at the top symbolizing Indiana as the 19th state. Next, we move to the flag of Wisconsin. Here we see 2 objects, a plow and a pick and shovel. The plow symbolizes agriculture, a key part of Wisconsin's history and economy. The pick and shovel represent mining, another important industry in the state's history. So you see, these objects aren't just there for decoration, they tell a story about the state they represent. Now, let's travel to Nevada. The Nevada state flag has 2 crossed sagebrush branches encircling a silver star and the state's name. Sagebrush is the state flower of Nevada, and the silver star represents the rich silver and gold mining history of the state. Can you see the pattern here? The objects on these flags aren't random. They represent something about the state's history, culture, or natural features. Maybe you're thinking, But I don't live in Indiana, Wisconsin, or Nevada. Well, take a look at your own state's flag. What objects do you see? A ship, a mountain, a river, an animal? These objects are clues to the story of your state. If you're not sure what they mean, ask a teacher, a parent, or do some research. Isn't it amazing how each flag tells a story through its symbols? Whether it's a torch, a plow, or a sagebrush, each object has a special meaning. So the next time you see a state flag, remember, there's a story behind every symbol. Until next time, keep learning and exploring. All right, Trivia Masters, we've learned a lot today. Let's take a moment to fly through everything we've uncovered about the fascinating world of U.S. state flags. We started our journey with flags that feature animals. Remember the powerful bison on the flag of Wyoming? Or the majestic eagle on the Illinois flag, symbolizing strength and power? Not to mention the unique sight of the bear on California's flag, a tribute to the state's wild history. Then we dove into flags with unique symbols. We discovered the Zia sun symbol on New Mexico's flag, a sacred emblem to the Zia people. And who could forget the beautiful copper star on Arizona's flag, representing the state's copper mining industry? Our adventure continued with flags featuring people. We saw a miner and a sailor standing side by side on Maine's flag, representing the state's maritime and mining history. And then there's Virginia's flag, where Virtus, the Roman goddess of virtue, stands over a defeated tyrant, symbolizing the fight for freedom. We then explored flags adorned with plants. The palm tree on South Carolina's flag reminded us of the state's tropical charm, while the buckeye leaves on Ohio's flag paid homage to the state's official state tree, the Ohio buckeye. Next up, we encountered flags with objects. We saw the key and scales on the flag of Delaware, symbolizing justice and the importance of following the law, and the lighthouse and ships on the Rhode Island flag, representing the state's maritime history. But of course, our flag-flying adventure wouldn't be complete without a final trivia question to test your newly gained knowledge. So here it is. Can you remember which state flag features a pelican? Take a moment. Got it? If you said Louisiana, you're absolutely right. The pelican on Louisiana's flag is shown feeding her young, a symbol of the state's dedication to protecting its citizens. Well done, everyone. You've sailed through this flag trivia with flying colors. We've journeyed from coast to coast, uncovering the stories and symbols that make each state's flag unique. And remember, each flag isn't just a piece of fabric. It's a piece of history, a symbol of pride, and a story waiting to be told. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning. There's a whole world out there full of flags, each with its own tale to tell. And who knows? Maybe next time, we'll venture beyond the US and dive into the world of international flags. But until then, remember, every flag tells a story. See you next time on Flag Trivia!